What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. I hope everyone is healthy and well today. Welcome, all my new supporters. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, I bring to you something highly requested, something I feel was very much needed. I'm not gonna lie. Let's jump right into this video. Original video link will be down below in the description. Today, we'll be reacting to Explaining Europe to Americans. Now, this was highly recommended by my lovely supporters. All my Americans tuning in, let's see where we're at mentally. You know, I've been going over this for a
Europe,
minute now.
the land of weird European movies, the metric system, the relaxed laws of underage drinking, and the starter of both world wars. Lately I've been seeing a lot of information about Europe, and it's been a bit misguided. So here I present to you a little crash course about this part of the world. So let's start off with geography. Unfortunately, or fortunately, Europe does not look like this. It looks like this. Europe has over 40 countries, so it's much more than just France, Germany, and Italy. And saying you visited Europe is a very broad term because this...
I just spoke to too many people today. I'm going to Europe. I mean, where though? Like, where specifically? You know, when I get to asking specifically, they look at me like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm the one that don't know anything. Like I'm the one that's confused. All right, let's go ahead. I don't know. Like, why people be treating me like that?
Like this. Europe has over 40 countries, so it's much more than just France, Germany, and Italy. And saying you visited Europe is a very broad term because this part of Europe is very different from this part of Europe. The biggest country in Europe is Russia, and the smallest country in Europe is the Vatican City, which is basically a giant building with a giant park. Europe can be divided depending on how you look at it. It can be divided politically, geographically, or historically. For example, here, the east from the west, and here, the red from the green from the turquoise, or potato-tomato regions. So let's look at the general way of how Europe can be divided. Firstly, on the list is, of course, Western Europe. These are the countries that people want to move in, live in, and be born in. They are economically better off and they have a lot of work opportunities. These countries include Germany, France, Austria, Belgium, and if you don't count the British Islands as their separate thing, then they also are in the west of Europe. Next up we have Northern Europe. A lot of these countries are...
So we gotta remember it like this. Yeah, these strobe lights got me like a little moist up top. I'm gonna remember it like this. So for this one, we gonna call it where people want to move. No, okay, let's just shorten it. Where you want to move. Let's put it that. So that's for the first one. Where you want to move. That's for Western, right? That's for Western Europe. Okay. So now we're on Northern Europe.
Are doing great. Or even they're better off in terms of quality of life. Except for Sweden. It's having a rough patch with crimes, apparently.
Really?
But they're pretty cold. And in the winter, it gets really dark. So not a lot of people want to move there, necessarily. Not only are they cold when it comes to weather, but also when it comes to their friendliness scale. They're usually considered a bit more unfriendly or reserved. These countries are also referred to as Nordic or Scandinavian countries. They have a lot of Viking heritage and they like to fish. They have a lot of fish and water around them. Moving on to Southern Europe. These are the countries that people like to visit on vacation. They're warm, maybe too warm for some people. And by some people I mean me. They have great food and wine, they're pretty friendly, and some of them like to take naps in the middle of the day. Which sounds like a dream. But their economy is not doing that great.
Oh man.
And if you're wondering why is this section a darker orange, well, I'll get to that in a bit. And now we have Eastern Europe. Well, the problem with Eastern Europe is that nobody wants to be called Eastern Europe. This division is based on the time when the Fire Nation attacked, so a lot of these countries were occupied. Since East of Europe is not the best area to be associated with, countries like to identify themselves with other names. For example, Romania, Croatia likes to be called the Balkans. Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania are the Baltics, but to be honest, they're quite high up geographically, so maybe they could be considered even Northern Europe. Poland, Czech Republic, and Slovakia likes to be called the Central Europe. And now we're left with countries that are not...
Wait a minute. Huh? I didn't know that. See, that get confusing when everybody gets to saying what they want to say, you know? Eastern Europe is the same as Central Europe. But I never really thought that, thought to look it up because I've always tried to figure out, wait a minute, Central, they got Eastern, they got Western. Like, it's just, I'm so glad she explained that. It's because they don't want to be referred to as Eastern Europe. I understand.
Likes to be called the Central Europe. And now we're left with countries that are not doing that great for multiple reasons. And I would say maybe they would rather be called Slavic countries rather than Eastern Europe.
That's why. What? Where have I been? Wait a minute. That's why, I've definitely heard people refer to, some of the countries in Europe as Slavic. Slavic, right? Am I saying that right? Slavic countries? Right?
Maybe they would rather be called Slavic.
Slavic, bro. And the whole time I'm like, huh? Like, it kind of confuses me because you really got to learn. Okay, so I understood, Eastern Europe, but that's all I knew it as. You know what I'm saying? This gets deep, man. This reminds me of that video when I reacted to England, and it was like breaking up England and explaining each part and everything, man. And it was like, don't call this because people don't like being called this. But that was like the proper, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things you got to just go with it because people don't want to be called Eastern Europe. This is reminding me. I'm getting PTSD from that UK video, man. Because that, boy, was that difficult. Boy, was that something to really, like, wrap my mind around. This one right here got me. Okay. So scratch Eastern Europe because that's already, like, in the surface. We got to remember these terms. The Baltics, Central Europe.
Multiple reasons. And I would say maybe they would rather be called Slavic countries rather than Eastern Europe. You can be both, but one of them sounds a bit more cool than the other one. So if you agree with the concept of Central Europe, then scratch whatever I said before about Europe looking like this. Now Europe looks like this. And I have to say I have nothing against being called Central Europe or the existence of Central Europe. I think it's just funny how nobody wants to be called Eastern European. So then lastly, we have Central Europe. Basically all the German-speaking countries and more. These countries are located in the core economic region of Europe. They have stable governments and a relatively high quality of life. And these countries also love beer. And they like to fight on who drinks the most beer. This is an interesting correlation I found. Not that it's related to geography, but it's an interesting fact. With all that said, the number one thing you should remember is that Europe is not a country. It is a continent that has a lot of countries. And if you know where the capital of Paris, Berlin, and London is, you're doing a good job and you should pat yourself on the shoulder. And I definitely don't expect you to know where Malta is, which is right here, and it's very small. I don't even expect people from France to know the capital of Latvia. So if you know a little bit about this place, it's already pretty good. I think one of the most important things is just not to make assumptions. For example, calling Lithuania basically Russia is very disrespectful. Or Ireland is the same as UK.
See?
Not a good thing to do.
See, that's
so maybe
crazy.
Open a map before opening your mouth. Just
that's crazy, you know? That's crazy. That's like asking a Scottish person. You see what I'm saying? How does it feel to be a Brit? Oh man, you done started something. Like, you see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying for the last video. You gotta really understand it. Don't go out there now to one of these countries in Europe. But yeah, Eastern Europe. Because if you run into the wrong person, like, we do not call it that.
Not a good thing to do. So
You
maybe
know?
open a map before opening your mouth. Just a friendly suggestion.
Facts.
And also maybe it's helpful to know the difference between Europe and European Union. Which I'll
Facts.
cover that in a bit. And now we can move on to history. Well, Europeans have a lot of beef with each other. UK and Ireland, Romania and Hungary, Portugal and Spain, and Russia with basically everybody in the world. And it's all because of history. Europe has a lot of it. There were a lot of agreements, disagreements, and wars over land in the past and also now. Some stuff is serious and some stuff ended up countries just making fun of each other. For example, Austria making fun of Germany, France and the Netherlands making fun of Belgium, or the whole Scandinavian area making fun of the Danes because of their weird sounding language. Because of history, we have cities like this that were weirdly divided between Netherlands and Belgium. They even have houses that are divided into two, so pretty strange. And we also have a city like this in the Baltics between Estonia and Latvia.
Okay.
Then when you compare Europe to the US, you can see that America is actually bigger in size than Europe, much bigger. Europe is 2/3 of America. But the main difference between these two is that one of them is much more densely populated than the other. The US has 300 million people living in there, and Europe has 700 million. And yet they're smaller in size. Each country here has their own rules, their own languages, their own culture, and so a more accurate comparison would be something like this. Every country is their own little America. And what I mean by that, we can take a look at Germany, for example. The country is divided into 16 states.
Right.
And this Germany and this Germany is very different.
Yup.
They also sound very different.
Many dialects within Germany. There are so many dialects within Germany. It's in the hundreds. It's crazy. It's what?
Germany and this Germany is very different.
Very different.
They also sound very different. When they talk to each other, they might not even understand each other.
Yup.
Plus, we also have Austria
It's
right
crazy.
here that also speaks German, but their German is very different from the standard German. But they are right next to each other. So how did this happen? History and culture and a lot of the stuff in between. Then we can also look at UK, which is fully separated from Europe by water. Here the country is divided into 4 regions, which is Scotland, Wales, England and Northern Ireland. But if you look deeper under the surface, it's also divided into smaller regions. And if you try harder, you can also divide it into just towns, cities and villages. The UK is an interesting example of how the language and the culture developed a little bit differently, even though they're right next to each other and the country is quite small.
Yeah.
Here, people can recognize your status or class based on where you grew up in, which is a thing, I suppose. Now, let's talk about the economical state of Europe. Firstly, let's cover what is the EU.
That was interesting. You know, and when you look it up, where is the UK? Is the UK in Europe? It'll say specifically, yes, the UK is in Europe. It's considered because it's in this part, this and that. But then when you do like other studies and look on other websites, or if I look it up on like another day, like it could be a Wednesday, yeah, talk about some, no, UK is not in Europe. In fact, it's done. I'm like, bro, one day it's yes and one day it's no. Which one is it?
The economical state of Europe. Firstly, let's cover what is the EU,
And it's high.
or European Union, as they say. It is an international organization comprising of 27 countries that govern common social, economic and security policies. EU is in Europe, but the whole Europe is not in the EU. Just like a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square. What I mean is that not all European countries are a part of this. Some do want to join and some want to leave, for a variety of reasons. From my understanding, this is the EU flag, not the Europe flag, but we do use it as a Europe flag to represent the unity of Europe, which is a little bit confusing, but there's not much I can do. The nice part about the EU is that a lot of European countries share the same currency, which is the euro currency. Not all of them use euros, but many do. These countries like to stick to their currencies. So if you try and buy some groceries with your American dollars, you will most likely be rejected. Unless you're in an area.
What, bro? I've been like lied to. I've been lied to crazy, bro. I'm like, that's I've been misled. That's so unfair. That's crazy. That don't make no sense. That just blew my mind, bro. Oh, I just bought this. I just bought this headset today, and I'm dropping it already. I just bought it today, bro. Yeah, y'all remember this headset I had? I broke it the other video a long time ago. Like this video, All right, let me see. Let me lock in. And it's hot. Don't make it no better. You know.
Many do. These countries like to stick to their currencies. So if you try and buy some groceries with your American dollars, you will most likely be rejected.
I mean, why? They always talk about, bro, we gotta stop. My Americans, y'all gotta stop for real. Cause y'all got me thinking when we go to other countries, they be looking at our money like, ooh, American dollar. You know, they don't care. Whole time I had it in the back of my head like, ooh, the American dollar may be the best dollar. Top priority, top notch, big dog. Even though it looks horrible, like it ain't durable. Like, seriously, like I don't even know how our money's worth anything, honestly. But we're not gonna get started on that, because me personally, I feel like the euro is a little more detailed, a little worth more. Should I say a little more? Yeah, worth it than an American dollar. So if y'all were to come out to the U.S. and spend your euros, I would probably look at that money. Like, ooh, we don't have this. I want that. I need that. But we go out there, you telling me you gonna deny my money? My money not good enough? I'm not good when I go out there with cash? So I gotta use a card. Or I gotta exchange my money in and I gotta get some euros. That's what I would definitely do. I'm not using my card. I trade my US dollars in and I get euros, but I understand you're in a whole other country. So if you probably came to the US with euros, there are some stores that on second thought, are there any stores that are, let me know in the comments, are there any stores that actually take euros? There are some stores out there in Europe that take American dollar bills. But now in the US, I don't know if we take euros at all. But please let me know. That's interesting. So, I mean, I can understand, though, because even though Europe is not a country, it's a continent with several countries within it, Everyone is accepting euros only, within their countries, because that's their country. I want no US dollar. So I do understand that. It's just the fact of what I've been taught, US dollar is top priority, top notch. If you go out to another country, they'll bargain with you. You know why? Because US dollar. This is what everybody been telling me this. This is what I've been getting taught growing up. They go bargain with you, bro. They go bargain with you because it's a US dollar. They be making it seem like when you go out there to Europe, they look at you like you got money because you from America. What are you talking about? When I go out there to Europe, I look at them like they got money. What are you I'm tired of Americans, bro. Real talk, bro. Because y'all got me thinking something completely different. And here it is. I'm coming to my sense like, nah. Because the way I view, Europe, European Union, Europeans, come on. We got to stop with these stereotypical assumptions out here. For real, bro. Starting to get into me, man. I gotta get about you, man.
Unless you're in groceries with your American dollars, you will most likely be rejected. Unless you're in an airport or some kind of tourist hotspot, then it will not go that well. I mean, would you sell me a store? You will most likely be rejected. Unless you're in an airport or some kind of tourist hotspot, then it will not go that well. I mean, would you sell me a sandwich if I say I have 200,000 Animal Crossing bells? Probably not. And if you said yes, I'm not sure about your business practices. 20 EU countries use euros, but in total it's 27 because some countries decided...
Wait. I understand why she compared it to that because our money literally means nothing in Europe. Vice versa, your money literally means nothing out here. Okay, so I understand why she compared it to something that's not even a currency. Yeah, that was a crazy comparison. I see what she did there. That was nice. I see what she did.
I mean, would you sell me a sandwich if I say I have 200,000 Animal Crossing bells?
Yeah.
Probably not. And if you said yes, I'm not sure about your business practices. 20 EU countries use euros, but in total it's 27 because some countries decided to make it their currency unofficially. But not all EU countries switched to euro, and some of them still stayed with their old currency. So if you're traveling to those countries, check ahead what kind of money do they use.
The money looks
and
so
ignore
nice.
UK because I forgot they decided to leave or they already left. So they're just doing their own thing. But many countries over the years did switch to using euros, which is very convenient when you travel. But as a Latvian, I remember having lats and being very sad that we're gonna switch to euros now. The only reason I didn't want it to happen because I really liked this coin and, you know, nostalgia reasons and cultural reasons. But now I don't have to exchange my currency or try and always calculate in my mind how much is this in lats or how much is this in euros. So, overall, a good thing, I think. You can let me know if you have an opinion about this. Now, the last thing on our list is culture. America is not Europe, and Europe is not America. We run things differently around here. Like, for example, it's very rare to find a building that has central AC. Most of us just have a big heat wave in the middle of the summer and we suffer for 2 weeks and then it's all good.
I don't know how you do that. I haven't seen a lot of Europeans do that, you know. And I don't even want to say Europeans. I don't like calling people Europeans because it's like, all right, although you're in a certain part of Europe, at the same time, it's not a country. You came from a country. Where'd you come from? You know what I'm saying? Like it. Okay, but in this broad using, we're gonna just say European. We're gonna just say European. How about that?
Building that has central AC. Most of us just have a big
hot
heat wave in the middle of the summer and we suffer for 2 weeks and then it's all good.
So how many showers y'all take a day out there in Europe? How many showers do y'all take a day? Because y'all not really putting essential air on. A lot of people told me people don't really drive around with the AC on in Europe. Like in certain countries, like windows down, it don't matter if it's 100 degrees out. It's like a way of saving, being, you know, energy efficient, should I say. This is what people tell me. And then a lot of people say, well, what's the point of... It's a lot of stuff about saving energy and water, guys. And I realize that. That's why I don't judge it. A lot, you know, people will be like, what's the point of taking a shower before we go out if it's going to be hot? Now, we're trying to save money, energy, and everything. We're trying to just get to where we got to go. We're not going to put the AC on now. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, we're going to just go straight to our destination and then go all the way back home the same way. We're not going to put no air on or nothing. We're going to crack nothing but the windows in the car, at home, and let the fresh air go through. This is what people do. And then when it's time to wind down, people take showers. So they kind of just stick more to the natural, the natural environment, should I say, the natural temperature of their environment. It's not like, oh, it's hot, let's stay in the house with AC on. Like, it's literally like whatever today is, this is how we live in. And I don't judge that at all. I don't judge that at all. Some people got a lot of good reasons. I see people take showers out here in the U.S. Yo, I'm in New Jersey. It's something about the sun. The sun don't make no sense out here in Jersey. It's real hot, real hot. Now, I mean, it don't compare to how it is out there. I mean, I don't want to go on a rant. I don't want to go on a rant, but like, people be taking showers and everything, and just to go outside to be mad hot, you about to sweat just to go start the car up. And that's ridiculous. And then you about to go out all sweaty and everything. And I mean, you could put the air on. I guess that's the difference. People are actually rocking the AC in the United States. People are not really doing that in Europe. So it's different, you know? Very, very different. So like, how many showers would you have to take a day? Because yet again, wouldn't like you basically have an odor? If you wasn't, say it was like that for 2 weeks, 3 weeks straight. You got to eventually take a shower. Like, oh, I got to go to work. I got to do this and that. You know, this doesn't count for everyone. I'm pretty sure. But please let me know in the comments down below. Like I said, I do not judge. I'm just curious to learn more about this. You know, I don't want to go out there to one of the countries in Europe and I'm sitting there expecting the AC like some privileged American. Some privileged American. It's about 70 degrees outside. You got to enjoy whatever breeze you get. Yo, y'all got to let me know. It's hot out there. It's hot.
And Europe is not America. We run things differently around here. Like, for example, it's very rare to find a building that has central AC. Most of us just have a big heat wave in the middle of the summer and we suffer for 2 weeks and then it's all good. But
In
the
2
normal
weeks
AC is a
only?
bit more common in Southern Europe, but not everywhere. In some ways, we're not that different from you. And maybe we're not even better than you, but we certainly think we are. I mean, we also have McDonald's, and we do like our convenient cars, but we're not that obsessed with it. And our cities don't look like the medieval times. I mean, some do, but we certainly stopped throwing trash out of the windows and burning witches. As mentioned before, Europe has a lot of countries, so there's a lot of different cultures, foods, traditions, and preferences. And so I gathered some cultural things to generally know about Europe. The first thing on my list is that you're probably not Italian. If the only thing that makes you Italian is that you took an ancestry test that told you that your blood is 57% Italian, you're probably not Italian. It doesn't count if you have Italian ancestors from the 1800s that settled to America. If you didn't grow up in Italy, you don't have any Italian relatives, like grandparents, parents, or aunts and uncles, and you don't know how to speak Italian. I'm sorry to say this, but
You're not Italian. Word. That's what I be saying. Stop putting on a front. Stop fronting. Who you lying to? You lying nobody but yourself. You only fooling yourself. Because you know personally, you ain't Italian. You know, you eat pasta with the red sauce a few times and let somebody in your family talk about how somebody they know down the line in the family got Italian in them. Now you Italian. I'm so tired of people, man. I'm tired of people, for real. You know what I'm saying? Look, like... I'm so tired of them.
And you don't know how to speak Italian.
They know a few
I'm sorry to
differences
say
in
this, but
spaghettis
you're
and be
not
like, "Oh, I'm
Italian. Being able
I can't stand it.
to know how to speak Italian. I'm sorry to say this, but you're not Italian. Being able to pronounce mozzarella correctly or having a family recipe of spaghetti and meatballs doesn't give you an Italian passport. Plus, spaghetti and meatballs is an Italian-American dish. They don't really eat that in Italy. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice fact and it's fun to know where your ancestors came from.
Wait. I know you lying.
Give you an Italian passport. Plus, spaghetti and meatballs is an Italian-American dish. They don't really eat that in Italy.
So what do y'all eat? What do you eat in Italy then? The whole time I'm thinking this is all they eat in Italy, the way they be repping it out here. Spaghetti, like, oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Red sauce or the pasta, however what is it? Is it red sauce? They're so, like, it's what the Americans be saying. So now I'm curious, do Italians even say that? Pasta with the red sauce. And then some people say spaghetti. I heard that's a big difference. Okay, y'all gotta let me know in the comments. Where my Italians at, man? Because these Americans out here fronting, man. Let them tell you. They got Italian in them.
Passport. Plus, spaghetti and meatballs is an Italian-American dish. They don't really eat that in Italy. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice fact and it's fun to know where your ancestors came from.
They don't even eat that.
But it doesn't mean that you have the right to claim to be this nationality. Then, a lot of people here are bilingual, but that does not mean that they know English. Oftentimes in most schools you learn 3 languages. Your language,
the neighbor... 3! We not even learning 1! We can't even learn 1! They giving us Spanish. That's the only choice we got is Spanish. I've been learning Spanish since day 1 in school and I still don't know Spanish. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien. E2, ain't nothing
foreign country's language and
stuff.
Most likely English or whatever else you want to learn. But that does not mean everybody speaks English or want to speak English. So it's always nice to learn a little bit before you come here. Even just knowing how to say please and thank you is already something. Then thirdly, in Eastern Europe and in Northern Europe, people don't really like small talking with strangers. Plus, walking and smiling alone is considered weird. They probably will think you're crazy. People here are reserved and cold, because it probably is cold most of the time, and they don't like to waste their energy on things that don't really matter. So if you see them smiling, it's most likely sincere. Then next we have Sundays. Some countries consider Sunday as a holy day, so a lot of shops and grocery stores are closed. Or they might not be open at their usual schedule. Germany and Poland are quite serious about it, so you'll just have to deal with it.
I'd rather that at this point, because the times y'all be closing on Sundays, it don't make no sense out here. It'd be so early. Like, you just opened. Yeah, come on. Like, I just woke up. As a matter, I'm not messing with it. I feel like maybe we should just be closed on a Sunday then. if it's that serious.
Food is also a big part of our culture. So here is a subsection about food and restaurants. Well, first of all, let's talk about additives. The EU is cautious of what we put in our food. As you can see, the fries from McDonald's, here is a list of ingredients in the UK, which I think by that time was part of the EU. And
yeah,
here is a list
seen
of
that
ingredients
video
that they use in the US.
It's probably more ingredients now, huh? Yeah, I've seen this video, bro. We reacted to this. The amount of ingredients in the US foods was ridiculous compared to how it was in Europe. I mean, how hard is it? They cut the potato, put the potato in something, oil, I guess, whatever you go, what type of oil, you know? And then it's actually y'all actually use a different oil as well. Something more, you know, quality. And put some salt on it. Like, it's not that hard. They get to add in all different types of ingredients, bleach and everything, bro. I'll be like, what is this?
Was part of the EU. And here is a list of ingredients that they use in the US. Way more things that I don't know what they are.
Yeah, if you don't know what it is,
we have many ingredients that start with the letter E and end with a number,
can't eat that.
But we are very selective of which ones we want to bring into our club. What I've learned from food theory is that EU takes the approach of guilty until proven innocent. Meaning, if the additives are proven to not be harmful, then they're accepted into our food chain.
And you know what the US do? Innocent till proven guilty. And I'm tired of that BS. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Because 20 years down the line, we got all these people with health issues, or you just now finding out something. Now it's an issue. Now you got to get rid of it. You know? Now it's discontinued. Now you want to go put it out on the news stations and a mass media, you know, text or tweet. Hey, such and such, we're not selling this no more. Because how many people then passed away from this product or have conditions because of this, or an illness now, or they're in critical condition. You see what I'm saying? Or they have some type of allergic reaction, or it's ridiculous for real. You gotta find something wrong first. Something gotta happen. That's why I be saying to you, somebody gotta lose a life or something first or get hurt. It gotta be something crazy in order to make a change. Out there in, you know, Europe, it seems more of like a common sense. Hey, let's not do that, you know? Because what if somebody does, you know, get hurt or this or that, or lose their life, you know? Hello? Bro, it don't make no sense. It's just laziness and cheapness.
Additives are proven to not be harmful, then they're accepted into our food chain. Each country has their own specialties and traditional foods, so there's lots to experience and to try. So we'll probably find it a little bit weird if you stick to McDonald's and Starbucks and Dunkin' that you can find back at home a 10-minute drive away from your house. But I do have to say, if you're going to these places to find something new, something that is not sold in your country, then I think it's fine. I've done it. For some reason people are judging me for this, but I want to know what a macaron tastes like at a French McDonald's. I'm curious. Yeah. Is it good? Is it bad? Should I buy it again? Speaking of restaurants,
I don't eat McDonald's. I never would dare in my life again eat McDonald's. But I did go to Mexico, and I had McDonald's with my family years ago. And it was that. You ever had Five Guys? It tastes a little better than that, you know? Like, it was that for real. I'm like, yo, people is really eating it here. Imagine, we in Mexico. We in the streets of Mexico, you know? We ain't that all-inclusive resort no more. So everybody out there with their families and stuff, like, it's a regular restaurant eating big meals, too. Big meals. This is dinner. Like, this is crazy. Like, this ain't nothing like the U.S. But you got to actually, like, trying and eating it. I'm like,
I'm curious. Is it good? Is it bad?
Oh.
Should I buy it again? Speaking of restaurants, prepare yourself that the service will be just okay. They will not go above and beyond to please your every need. They might not be fast, and they might not be friendly. They are humans that have emotions and down days and are not full of energy all the time. And they will leave you alone to eat your food and might not check up on you at all.
Don't check me at
all.
all.
I've been to plenty of cafes and restaurants where they did have very friendly and good service, but not all of them will be like this. And so Just be mentally prepared that they will not take your dish back and give you a refund if you just don't like it. You'll just have to pick something better next time. Then also we have tipping. In most countries, waiters receive a fair minimum wage. But it's still minimum wage, so it's quite low. So we do like tipping, but just 5 to 10%. A more modest tip. Or you just round off the bill that the number looks nice. But the tipping etiquette can be different for each country. For example, in Germany, you tip when you pay. But in France, you leave a tip on the table when you leave, and already paid. What I hear a lot of people from America living or visiting Europe say that we don't have good Mexican food. And it's true, because Mexico is right here, right next to the United States. And Mexico is pretty far away from Europe. So not a lot of people that know how to cook good Mexican food come to Europe to open Mexican restaurants. And that makes sense because we have a whole ocean between us. Don't get me wrong, I would love to go to a Mexican restaurant, but I don't even know how good Mexican food tastes like because I've never been to Mexico. Because again, it's pretty far away.
She ain't never had Mexican food before. But that's like me. I ain't never had no German food. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, somebody could say the same for me. Strac, you ain't never been to the UK. You ain't never had this before. You right? Yo, I gotta get out. 2027 is that year, baby. 2027 is that year. We gonna lock it down. Yo, mark my words. We're gonna lock it down. We're gonna get our own spot. You know, we're gonna be consistent with the videos, the streaming. I'm gonna have my own little feng shui, you see? And we're gonna grind. And we're gonna, you know, that'll be the start of the journey for real. And we're gonna travel and do our thing. 2027, mark my words, guys. Somebody clip this. Somebody gotta clip it. Somebody gotta clip it. You know what? You don't even got to. This clip is gonna come back up a few years later.
Thing on our list is culture.
It's gonna come back up.
America is not Europe. And Europe is not America. We run things differently around here. Like for example, it's very rare to find a building that has central suffer for two, but not everywhere. In some ways, we're not that different. We also have McDonald's and our out of so there's a lot of different cultures, foods, traditions, and preferences. And so I gathered some cultural things to generally know about Europe.
I think I did it again. Remember I did this last video? Like when in the world did like my mouse hit somewhere over here and take me back? Way over yonder. When did that happen? Is it me? Why does this be happening in videos, bro? I think I be losing my mind sometimes. I'm not even gonna cut this out because I want y'all to see some of the stuff I be going through. You know, I be like, wait. And it's hot. And it's not talking about sexual air. It's hot with a sexual air right here. This must be how y'all be feeling. I'm like damp and moist right now, but I'm rocking. I'm cool. I got the fan on in the back. Ain't nothing to trip about. You know what I'm saying? I got the fan on in the back. Did I actually go a little bit too much?
And most likely English or whatever else you want to learn. But that does not mean everybody speaks English or want to speak English.
Facts.
And they don't like to waste their energy on things that don't really matter. So if you...
Yo, I really like how y'all move out there. Let's backtrack a little bit. I really like how y'all move. Because like, so many times, I was just trying to be the nice guy. You know, you get somebody a little smile in public. Just to let them know you're not a threat or something. Because sometimes people be looking like, and they look, and they don't even smile back or give you the time of the day. All right. Now I feel some type of way about you now. You know what I'm saying?
Something. Then thirdly, in Eastern Europe and in Northern Europe, people don't really like small talking with strangers. Plus, walking and smiling alone is considered weird. They probably will think you're crazy. People here are reserved and cold because it probably is cold most of the time, and they don't like to waste their energy on things that don't really matter. So if you see them smiling, it's most likely sincere. Then next we have Sundays. Some countries consider Sunday as a holy day, so a lot of shops and grocery stores are closed. Or they might not be open at their usual schedule. Germany and Poland are quite serious about it, so you'll just have to deal with it. Food is also a big part of our culture, so here is a...
We did see this.
Is the list.
We did see this.
We're a minute drive away. I took it fast, and they might not be friendly. They are humans that have emotions and down days and are not full of energy all the time. And they will leave you alone to eat your food and might not check up on you at all. I've been to plenty of cafes and restaurants where they did have very friendly and good service, but not all of them will be like this. And so just be mentally prepared that they will not take your dish back and give you a refund if you just don't like it. You'll just have to pick something better next time. Then also we have tipping. In most countries, waiters receive a fair minimum wage.
That's right.
But it's still minimum wage.
We did hear about the tipping.
Because Mexico,
we did hear the Mexican food.
Be spatially aware and not be too loud.
Yeah, I must have had
Americans have a reputation.
A ghost in my room or something, bro. Because how did it backtrack us that far in the video? Did you guys see me literally go back like this? And am I losing my mind? Am I losing my mind? I be having so much going through my mind these videos. What if I did backtrack and somebody like, yeah, you did.
Here in Europe that they're loud and annoying. Maybe they're not necessarily American, they might be Canadian, but just be aware of the situation, if it's quiet or not, and how loud you're speaking. Especially in countries like Germany, they take it really seriously and they will point it out that you're being too loud. Now, all that being said, Europe is not a perfect...
It's sarcasm out there in Germany, man. That's why I'm kind of scared to go to Germany, you know? What if you do something wrong? They're gonna hit you with a joke, some type of sarcasm, man. Like, if you're being too loud, they might be like, do you want to be any louder? Or you're a little too quiet, aren't you? You know? And if you're just smart enough, you might catch on. And if not, I think they'll just laugh. You think they laughing with you, they laughing at you.
You're being too loud. Now, all that being said, Europe is not a perfect place. We have a lot of issues of our own. Europe is considered to be pretty safe from the rest of the world, but we still have crimes here. And as I said before, Sweden, I'm looking at you. What's happening? Especially in big cities, we have a lot of scams and pickpocketers, and Paris would be the first city that comes to mind that has this issue. Then Europe also has racial discrimination, some countries more than others. But an interesting statement that I've heard is that we dislike or have prejudices against people from other countries rather than skin color, which I think the description also fits. So we also do have our problems. So here are some of my final thoughts. Well, if you're an American living in America, you probably don't really care.
I have yet to I'm not even going to run with that. A lot of people tell me that, Strac, you travel, be careful, because this and that. Man, I don't care. Anywhere Strac go, man, people going to love me. I don't care. Man, I don't care, bro. I think I'll be blessed enough that I have that type of energy around me, just walking around nothing but good positive vibes. I don't want to have to encounter that, come across that, because it's gonna ruin my trip.
Thoughts. Well, if you're an American living in America, you probably don't really care about the intricacies of being European and living in Europe, and that's okay. We don't know everything about you, and I don't think you should know everything about us. We have our own stuff to deal with, but I do think we can learn from each other. For example, having free public bathrooms or universal healthcare.
I like the pain. I like how people got to pay for the bathrooms. Now, this is nothing. My Americans, I know you probably bash me right now. Actually, there's times I had to use the bathroom, and if I had to pay, I probably would have been mad. I'm not going to lie. There's been a lot of clean public bathrooms I have walked in, actually, that were free. So scratch what I'm about to say. Because majority of the bathrooms, they look horrible. Especially in like big franchise places like Walmart and this and that. Horrible. Horrible. You'd be lucky if it's a little bit of clean, or if there's some napkins in there or toilet paper. It's horrible. Or if it's not sticky on the floor. Like, it's bad. It's bad, Or if the toilet not clogged. Like, bro, public bathrooms is crazy. And this is why you got to charge people sometimes. Because if I said this last video now, and I don't mean no disrespect, but sometimes you won't attract those type of people if you make them simply pay. I'll keep it 100. If they ain't got no respect for the bathroom or this or that and such and such, you know what type of person that is. You think they want to pay? They're not finna pay anyway. Look, give it to the people that's gonna pay, take care of it and everything. The class. Sometimes you got to have class sometimes, bro. Sometimes you just have to, because I've seen the bathrooms out here and it's
free public bathrooms or universal healthcare. If you're planning on visiting European countries, I would suggest just looking up some stuff about what to do or what not to do, and some little language bits and pieces of saying please and thank you. Or just in general, be more aware of your surroundings. Not just for Americans, but for anyone out there in the world. So if you like this video and you would like to see more of videos like this, consider maybe buying me a little tea or coffee at Coffee. And I want to say thank you to anybody that did already donate. So, thank you. Thank you.
This was a great video. I like this video. Her presentation was fabulous. Excellent. Original video link will be down below in the description. This video was long enough already. I already knew it was going to be one of those ones, man. This was a breakdown of Europe. This was very much needed, you know? Very much needed. Please feel free to educate me, clarify some things, clear some things up in the comment section for me. I know I told you guys I was a little, not confused, but a little misled, you know? But I caught on to it, though. And I understand. But please, I want the truth in the breakdowns and stuff in the comments, for real, for real. Especially if I had any questions throughout this video, because I'll be having so many. Please flood my comment section with more videos for us to react to. Share your honest thoughts and opinions. Follow my Kick for the live streams down below in the description. If you follow the Twitch, I'm sorry, please, you could go ahead. Even if you look, some people downloaded the app strictly to watch me, and you a real one for real too. But please delete the app. Yeah, look, delete the app and then replace it with Kick. You see what I'm saying? And watch your boy on Kick, and we're gonna go live. It's gonna suit us more, you know, especially for the long run. And it's just better for live streaming. But you will always catch me on YouTube forever. You know what I'm saying? I will forever be a YouTuber, guys. Stay safe. I love you all so much. Feel free to subscribe to all my other channels in the description down below. And I hope to catch you all in the next reaction video. Let me know how you like new headset. You know, this is the same headset from like a year ago, but I ended up breaking that headset from a video. I forgot what video that was, but if you could find it, man, send me the clip or something. Send me the clip or something.